Welcome to my V10 Audi S8. Now, I've done a video on this car already, and I had mentioned that there was an absolute laundry list of things that were wrong with it. And today is the first day that I actually feel comfortable out a couple hours from my home without crossing my fingers, hoping that I'm not going to be stranded on the side of the road. This thing took a lot of work to get it to where it's at. Honestly, probably the second most difficult car I've had in my entire life. Minus my VR4 that I'm working on right now, which has had 4 engines in it. In this video, we'll kind of run through what I've done in the past like 8 months or so on this car, and just kind of give you an inside look into what it takes to keep a once very expensive, highly depreciated V10 European super sedan on the road for cheap. My first video with this car, I kind of just introduced it and did a quick carbon cleaning on it to get it on the road, but the main theme with these things is that they are actually really solid vehicles. They will just nickel and dime you to death. So I didn't want to make a video too quick just fixing the couple things that was wrong with it, because I knew there would be a slow bleed over the next couple months of things going wrong with it, and boy was I right. Just had to pull over because the check engine light started blinking and the car is not acting right. I was on the freeway trying to get off and then did like a little 30% throttle pull and all hell broke loose. So I am pulled over nowhere near home. I am going to scan the ECUs and let's see what we get here. Oh, please don't tell me it's an oxygen sensor. That's an engine out job. Oh boy. Random multiple misfire. Cylinder 9. Definitely running a little chunky. Alright, I'm gonna set this to the side. Keep it open so I can get some logs. And let's see if this light's still blinking away. Or if it pops back up immediately, I guess. I just pulled that headlight off and had to unplug one of the mass airflow sensors, but I don't think that would cause a 1-cylinder misfire. I was like, yep, there we go. Awesome. I'm super thankful for how in-depth VCDS is, because I think I've pinpointed this to cylinder 4, so let's run through what this could possibly be. So first I wanted to check my standing fuel pressure, which seems intact, so let's get the car moving and see if it raises with speed. Big surprise, not the issue. I guess it's time to pull this intake once again. So even though I just pulled off this intake to do a carbon cleaning to try to fix this misfire, I think I'm about to have to do it again. When I was in there doing the carbon cleaning, which really needed done, I did a thorough cleaning on the injectors, and I believe that just bought me a little bit of time. The car was misfiring really bad before, and then maybe that cleaning just bought me a couple weeks of time, and then the misfire came back the exact same. So although this intake is very, very difficult to take off, I think that's my only option, because I believe one of these injectors is the actual culprit of this horrible misfire I've been experiencing for a little while. And the reason I'm able to tell that is because I did a throttle body alignment and I replaced a coil pack, and it's still a 1-cylinder misfire, so that's the only thing it could be. So I ordered one on Rock Auto, which is pretty crazy that I can actually order parts for this there. It's one of the few cars that I can just hop onto a random website like that and buy one. It's a Hitachi unit. It was less than $100, so let's hope this fixes this problem that I have just been racking my brain about trying to fix, and I think I just wasn't able to fix it because I didn't want to commit to doing the real fix and was just hoping something little was going to fix it. So let's dive into that. Probably should unplug the throttle bodies first, I would say, huh? Audi connectors are always fun because you have to push in then pull the tab, and then pull out. So it's like a 3-part thing. I'm fairly certain I'm going to be able to take the entire intake off with this. Pretty much everything is the same bolt size, and then I just have to go into VCDS and depressurize the system and pull these fuel rails off, and then pull it off of right here, and then I can start cutting the hell out of my hands trying to get them down here and unconnect all this stuff. That's honestly the hardest part about pulling this intake. I don't think I'm going to take the pumps off though. These can kind of just move out of the way. The other ones got pulled off up there. I completely forgot there was coolant in these. I thought it was air. I guess I should have known because I sprayed it everywhere. The engine bay is still super hot. I've had this fan sitting over here on it forever. But next I think I get to take these brackets off right here, if I can remember correctly, and then just all these perimeter bolts, and then that's when the fun stuff starts, where I have to start getting this stuff off. Yet again, all these high quality tools you can buy. So the 4th tool I've had break in trying to take off 15-20 bolts, and they're aluminum, probably torqued to like 10 foot-pounds. This is insane. Should have had this done hours ago. What the hell is even that? Can someone tell me how I'm supposed to get to this bolt? Like, what? Well, I got it up and off on the back pretty easily, but now comes the fun part. I have to do all of these connectors down there. Don't ask me how you're supposed to do that. You just do, I guess. Okay, high pressure pumps are definitely going off. At least one of them. I undid only this bracket, so I guess I'll go for this pump. All in all, these things are pretty cool. If you look down here, they're actually controlled by, I believe, the camshaft, and pumps it up and down to push the fuel with like a gear system. Good, both of those bolts held. All right, now that is done, I can move the intake back enough to potentially fit my hand in here and undo all those connectors. I think it's off. I'm gonna give it a yank and we will see. I kept the PCV valve on here, and then we can take a look at what my valves. One connector still. Okay, that's not too bad. I might even just set it to the side like that. So I did a carbon cleaning probably 20,000 miles ago, so let's see what 20,000 miles on a DI engine from Audi looks like. Honestly, not that good. Pretty gummy. Wow. Yeah, so it looks like if I want this thing to be running properly... Wow, that one's bad. Let's see if I can get better lighting. I probably got to do this every 50,000 miles or something like that. That's nuts. Ooh, that's not what I like to see over here. Just pluck that stuff out. This thing sits under a tree often, so stuff tends to kind of just fall down in here. And all this coolant and stuff is from when I pulled that off. So there's how many NOx sensors? There's 1, 2, 3, 4 NOx sensors. And you can see all the fuel piping down here and all that kind of stuff, just really complicated. So that's from an injector. So this is the NOx sensor that must be firing off this cylinder. And I'm wondering if it's just this cylinder alone right here, or if it's because this NOx sensor sits directly on that cylinder. I'm attempting to get this all cleaned up, but it is very dirty. I'm gonna pull those gaskets off and clean that area down. These gaskets are somewhat reusable because it's a crushed rubber kind of O-ring type thing. So I'm gonna inspect those, see if I can. If not, I'll get some new ones. But yeah, pull this fuel rail off over here on this side, and I'm gonna replace it with this one. It's weird being able to order parts on Rock Auto because most of the cars I usually work on aren't like super common, but I got a Hitachi for relatively cheap. I think it was marked down and sold as like their replacement brand or something like that, but this is the right injector for the car, and the highest one, highest end one I could get. Man, this is a crazy amount of shit to change one fuel injector. There was, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bolts holding this down, and then I had to undo this bracket back here because I connected to right here, and then get this line off. Oh my god. I think this is our culprit though. Let's pull it out. I'm gonna test it before I put the new one back in though. I was originally not super convinced that this was the issue for the car because I hooked it up and tested it and the spray pattern was absolutely perfect. But then once I went to go grab it after testing it, I only ran like 3 or 4 shots through it. I literally couldn't even touch it because it was boiling hot. So what I'm thinking is this might have like an internal short in it or something, and after it gets really hot, after a couple sprays, then it just kind of shuts off. And originally I didn't think that was what was going on, but I am starting to get convinced that this might actually fix this issue. So throwing the new one in, intake's going back on, and then we're gonna move from there. Yeah, just a handful of clicks. It's too hot to touch. Like a couple 100 degrees type hot. Yeah, there's definitely a short in here. Ugh. This sensor is to plug into this thing right here. Oh, I've been trying forever, and I think I just got it. Pull out the camera and you're good to go. Yep, she's on there. Time for the fuel lines. Just look how complicated the bends of this one are, because it has to go down and under through this area and back up into this guy back here, which I think might have to go under this one. Yep, there we go. Well, at least I think. Okay, it definitely went back behind it. There we go. Should be able to get this guy on there now. Well, maybe. God, even the parts out and wide open are really difficult to get to. So then the next fuel line, if I can remember correctly, goes like this. Yep. I'm gonna freak out. I forgot to tighten that bottom rail bolt down here. What the, oh my God. I just got all these on too. You know what, I'm just gonna call it a good thing that I found that, because as a high pressure fuel system, I would have lost like a gallon before I even noticed. So, I mean, it's gonna take me 25 minutes to get this back off and then reach my hand down under there and hopefully get those tightened. You know what, I did totally forget to do that. Okay, I was gonna be even more mad if I got in here and I had done it. All right, back to where I left off. Granted, it's only about an hour and a half later. I ran into so many stupid little issues. They were all things that probably could have been fixed with a little bit easier engineering. The engineers actually thought of the people working on these things, but I guess not. Still love the car, but I'm loving it a little bit less every single time I get under here. God, this is awful. I'm getting there slowly though. I just have to put like the crossover thing with the throttle bodies on. I have one new throttle body to throw on just to kind of eliminate more of the process. My hands are chewed up. I just can't wait to finish this, and I know it's not going to run right still because that's just how this car goes, but I'm super excited to go lay down flat on my floor because my back is screaming. All right, let's see what this is like. It might take a second to start because it's got to build fuel back into the rails. Let's see. Hard to tell, we'll have to take it for a drive. I don't want to early call it because I've only driven like 2 miles, but the car seems much happier. Haven't had one of the stumbles yet, but like I said, we'll kind of see. The car, it's up to temperature. So I guess I'll just put another 10-15 miles on it and see what happens there. But idling, it's steady. It's not doing this. And I'm gonna come over here and we'll pull through a couple gears. The issue is usually under load mid rev range, so let me flip this around. All of these lights are new since I just pulled off that intake, but I'll just clear them. All right, so this is what's been having trouble with. And it did it just fine. It's everything's gonna rattle in here because I got all my stuff down here and whatnot, but see what a actual pull feels like since I haven't been able to do one in a while. Speedometer is over here. All right, I have a car that goes. I can get up to freeway speed. Wild concept. It's shifting a little bit erratic, but I mean, I disconnected the battery and moved a lot of stuff around, so. The throttle response honestly feels so good now. Let's take a listen real quick. Awesome. Wow, that hood popped. I realize I have horrible oily coming from both valve covers now. And it's certainly not getting any better. I don't know if this is normal behavior for anybody else or not, but when I'm working on something, I get so invested in it that I just will forget to eat. So the only way to make myself eat is to literally place it in between me and what I'm working on. And I still will probably push it aside and forget, but I need to get this down because we have a lot of work to get this thing running today. What's even the point of having a fork or a knife if they're just going to do that? I can't even cut through bread, but whatever. Over here we've got this whole cavity emptied out. It only took me 10 minutes to get to this spot right here, but this is where I think the trouble starts. Not sure if you can see, there is the valve cover bolt right there. There is one back here. No clearance whatsoever, maybe a pinky width, but the valve cover definitely was replaced by the previous guy, but it's just leaking like crazy right there. You can see a lot of the brown stuff coming down through it. I don't know if it was over tightened, under tightened. I tried to snug it up and it didn't help, so I'm assuming over tightened because it was pretty tight already. Hopefully what I do is going to be able to fix this, but very tight area in here. Side note, one other fun thing about this car is that is where the power steering reservoir is. So you have to do about 10 minutes of work with probably 15 different tools to be able to even check what your power steering level is. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Alright, all these are off. There's a lot of bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I mean, there's 16 bolts, I think, on this, but back here, you can see this is the one I'm having trouble with. So this is the shortest possible thing I can figure out to get back here, and it still won't reach. I might just have to kind of pinch some of this back here, some of this heat shield, and try to dive this in there, but I can't for the life of me figure out how I'm going to get that all the way backed out. I'll probably check in about 2 hours once I get that off. Ooh, we got it. Yeah, it's a new gasket. Wonder if it got pinched or something. There's the spot that was leaking right there. It looks pretty normal to me. Oh yeah. There's our spot right there. Well, that was fun. So hopefully I can do a little bit better job than him. We will see. Should have vacuumed that first. So I pulled out the other air filter and noticed a lot of like these little beads in it. I can't tell what this is. It's like grain or something. It's all up in this box, and I'm assuming if I shake this out, we're going to get a good bit of them. Oh my god. What is this? These filters looked perfectly fine. Yeah, it's like grain or corn or something. Oh my god, there's an insane amount in there. Wonder if this car could even breathe. Good lord. Alright, we got all our parts in. They actually came earlier than expected, which is awesome. Got my valve cover gasket, all my replacement spark plugs. I didn't go with the same NGK plugs because that would have been a $200-something plug job. These should do just fine. They're iridium, but also that's my stack of replacement coil packs. When you have to do things in quantities of 10, it starts looking pretty ridiculous, but we'll do the plugs first, just so I can fill the hole for the spark plugs and not drop anything in there. Then we will do valve cover gasket, and then these guys over here. And then brake stuff will come after that. And then fuel stuff will come after that. So FPC Euro sent me the wrong gasket, called Audi to see if they supply it. They don't sell the gasket itself, they only sell the whole valve cover, which is $1,300. Kind of mind-blowing, but I might end up actually having to do that because the gasket wasn't what was leaking. The valve cover is warped from all the heat on both sides. So either that, or I just throw the new gasket on, torque it down real hard, and just pray. I might be going for the second option because I do not want to spend $2,600 on valve covers. Yes, you can probably guess which method I chose, so I cranked those down real hard, put a little bit of RTV. I know that's a big no-no, but I'm going to pop all these in, and let's just see how this car drives. I'm sure it'll be night and day from before, but there are still a lot of problems left on this thing. Alright, I worked well into the night. You can see there are no more puffs of smoke coming off of there. The drivetrain seems really solid, but that is definitely not where the issues stop on this car, and I'm running out of time tonight and in this video. Okay, so got a healthy engine, but it's kind of hard to drive the car because I have brake shake like crazy. This steering wheel does that as I'm coming to a stop, especially from freeway speeds. I have a really bad CV axle click. See, that's a new noise, so I guess I had to pull the door panel off too, but when I'm moving, I get a really bad CV axle click, so I need to do CV axles. I'm going to do all the fluids, maybe like transmission filter, all that kind of stuff. And then I'm not sure if that brake shake is caused by the actual rotors or calipers, or if it has the famous upper control arm issues, which these cars are known to have, and that famous pinch bolt that's always seized. I also am losing pressure in this front right air shock, and then the pump is working overtime because of that, and it's really vibrating. So I think that might be an issue as well. I'm gonna do something with the exhaust because I want to hear the engine, but that's too much to cover in this video. So now that the engine's healthy, I'm gonna hang it up here and I'm gonna get cracking on the rest of the stuff because I really want to run through the gears in this car. The engine sounds so good, I just want to drive it. So so thank you for sticking around this long. I know these are very tech heavy, somewhat boring videos, but some people enjoy that stuff, and it's kind of nice to see what it takes to own a car like this that is an initial cheap investment, but kind of nickels and dimes you through the long run. So if you want to see more on this, or my R8, my Lotuses, all that kind of stuff, hit the subscribe button, follow along, and I will have more up soon.